This short video shows how to properly connect the sensor and operate the NONIN 3150 WristOx2 pulse oximeter. The WristOx2 pulse oximeter is designed for oxygen saturation and pulse rate measurement that allows patient mobility and is compatible with pure light sensors from NONIN Medical. NONIN sensors that have WO2 in the model number are designed with a short cable, especially for use with the WristOx2 oximeter. NONIN branded pulse oximeters are designed for use with NONIN branded sensors only. Do not use these pulse oximeters with other brand sensors. NONIN sensors have an emitter that projects a tuned light wave pattern through the arterial blood flowing in the finger, and a detector which receives that light. Changes in the light wave spectrum through the finger during pulsation of blood generate a measure of blood oxygenation and pulse rate sent to the pulse oximeter. To start, ensure the sensor you are using is a NONIN branded sensor and that the wristband will fit comfortably. Insert the strap through the strap bars on the sides of the oximeter with the smooth woven side down when the oximeter is screen up on the table. Make sure the strap is attached so the smooth woven side is on the patient's skin. Place the WristOx2 oximeter on the patient and check for fit. It should fit comfortably like a wristwatch band. Don't over-tighten. The WristOx2 oximeter is an excellent choice for mobile uses. The WristOx2 can use Bluetooth or a USB cable port for connection to a PC to download recorded oximetry data from memory to nVision. The oximeter can use NONIN's nVision data management software to program settings, modes, and analyze SpO2 and pulse rate data. Settings and startup modes should already be completed, programmed on the WristOx2 before putting it in use. The oximeter can function in 3 start modes: spot check mode, sensor activation mode, and programmed mode. Verify the startup mode your pulse oximeter is using prior to use. Once batteries are installed in the oximeter, it is automatically in standby mode, ready for use. The screen will remain blank until the oximeter is started in one of its startup modes. The WristOx2 is delivered in the spot check mode, which turns the oximeter on automatically when a finger is placed in a sensor attached to the oximeter. It will return to standby mode 10 seconds after the finger is removed from the sensor. The sensor can be left plugged in for the next spot check with the same patient. Sensor activation mode can be programmed through the nVision software. The device turns on when the sensor is connected or when the activation switch is pressed. In this mode, the display can be set to show pulse and oxygen saturation levels or just the pulse and battery strength. This mode is useful when using a sensor that is not easy to remove from the patient, such as an adhesive disposable or wrap sensor. Programmed mode can be set to start and stop for up to 3 sessions set for specific times. Once programmed, the next start time displays on the display every 30 seconds in hour and minute format. A sensor must be connected for programmed mode to function. If the activation switch is pressed in programmed mode, the oximeter immediately activates the Bluetooth radio and operates for 3 minutes. During this time, the oximeter takes and stores measurements. After 3 minutes, the oximeter returns to standby mode and will reactivate at the next programmed mode session. When using programmed mode, verify all time and date settings on the oximeter are accurate. The WristOx2 is powered by 2 alkaline AAA batteries, which will last 48 hours when used without the Bluetooth radio function turned on. To replace the batteries, detach the USB cable if present and strap if it goes over the battery cover. Slide the battery cover off, remove the used batteries, and insert fresh, fully charged alkaline AAA batteries. Note the battery polarity position marked in the case to properly install the batteries. Replace the battery cover. Replace the batteries within 30 seconds. This will retain the clock and date settings so you do not need to reset them. If the oximeter has been in use and had regular battery changes or recharges, the settings should be retained in the oximeter for its next use. The battery charge indicator on the display shows full, half, low, and critical levels. The oximeter will revert to spot check mode only when the device is at the critical battery level. Date and time settings may be lost if the oximeter is used at the critical low battery level for an extended period. Connect the sensor to the WristOx2 pulse oximeter by inserting the plug with the NONIN logo visible at the top of the sensor port, as shown here. The connector should firmly seat in the connector port on the oximeter. Place the sensor on the patient. Proper sensor placement is critical for accurate readings. Follow the instructions for each sensor type to ensure secure, aligned positioning of the sensor on the finger or skin surface. In all startup modes, the oximeter will perform a startup sequence and a self-test as it turns on, and display the software revision and a smart point symbol if Bluetooth is activated. The following symbols should appear on the oximeter display: the oxygen saturation level, pulse rate, battery strength, and pulse strength appears in all modes. The sensor fault indicator appears if there is a problem with the sensor, which may be a disconnect, wrong sensor type, or other fault. This also appears when the sensor is removed from the finger. The circle symbol will also appear when the pulse signal is inadequate or the device does not sense a pulse. It may also display if there is excessive motion at the sensor site. The Bluetooth symbol displays for the first 2 minutes the device is on, and radio waves appear next to it when transmitting data to a computer. See the instructions for use for more information on Bluetooth functions. Check to ensure all the LCD elements appear. If any LCD segments do not appear, or if any of the displays do not appear as expected, remove the unit from use and return for service or repair. Signal loss from the sensor is possible with significant hand or body movements or disconnection of the cable. Signal quality can also be reduced by hand grasping or cold conditions too, which may reduce blood flow. Check and correct the position of the sensor if you see reduced pulse signal quality. If the hand has been grasping or it is cold, relax and warm the hand. The WristOx2 can store up to 1,080 hours of collected data, depending on the sampling rate. More frequent sampling rates reduce the number of hours for data storage, with 270 hours stored at every second data collection rate. Data remains on the oximeter even if the batteries are removed for more than 30 seconds and can be retrieved even if the time, date, and startup mode settings have been lost. The data can be transmitted or downloaded to nVision software via Bluetooth or a USB cable. See the instructions for use for more information on Bluetooth and nVision functions. When you are ready to stop using the oximeter, simply remove the sensor from the patient in spot check mode or disconnect the sensor in sensor activation mode. The oximeter will return to standby mode within a short time, ready for its next use. Remember, to maintain time and date settings, always keep the batteries in the oximeter. With proper use, the NONIN WristOx2 pulse oximeter will provide consistent, accurate oxygen and pulse rate measurement. You can find additional use information on this and other NONIN products at www.nonin.com.